The Asia-Africa Blue Tech Super Highway is a project that is implemented by WorldFish and partners in Africa and Asia, funded by the FCDO of the UK government to harness the potential of coastal and marine environment to produce quality aquatic foods globally. And the project really is built on 4 wow packages, which are like the building blocks of the project, including the first one on using digital technologies to collect data for a better management of fisheries. The second one is on integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, and I'll come back to that. The third one is about using innovations to reduce food waste and loss, aquatic food waste and loss, of course. And the fourth one is about incentive-based fisheries management. So, like during the periods where the fishermen cannot go and harvest and fish from the sea, what do they do? How do they feed themselves, and so on? So we are looking for alternative sources of income that could allow them to actually contribute properly to the conservation of aquatic resources in the coastal and marine environment. The integrated multi-trophic aquaculture is an aquaculture technique that combines many species that are complementary and that are all put together to reduce the impact of aquaculture. So you have species that are eating at the different trophic levels, so that the waste from one species is the food for another, and very little goes to the nature. So this is something that is not really operational yet in many of the countries where we are working, including Kenya, Nigeria, and Bangladesh. But components are existing. So, for example, if you take the case of Kenya, where we are, people already are doing seaweeds. Some are doing sea cucumber. Cage farming has started a little bit in the coastal area, at least at the pilot level, and so on. So these are all components that could be integrated through the IMTA, Integrated Multi-Trophic Aquaculture. And the same also in Bangladesh. In Nigeria, it's just starting. But we are in Nigeria because we see the potential. They have a long coast. In terms of aquaculture in general, they are quite well set, especially when it comes to catfish farming. But that really helped them know what it takes to have a sustainable aquaculture production. So they know the hatcheries, they know about the feed and so on, which are all going to contribute even in the IMTA, because we all usually have a fin fish component to it. So it's not yet a practice, in the coastal areas where we see the potential. It's important to have it in the project because it helps us confirm or adjust the project that we wrote. So when we are writing a project, we do a scoping visit, collect this, that, and then we design the project. We apply for funds and we get the funds. But once you want to implement that, you have to do a theory of change to check whether this project is actually something that can be implemented in the country. And if it's the case, are the activities that you have suggested in the proposal relevant at that time to the context of the country? So we have to bring the stakeholders together, discuss with them and say, oh, this is the target. Can we achieve it in the country? Yes. If yes, these are the activities we are suggesting. Are they relevant for the context? If not, what can we do? What is the pathway? So the theory of change workshop is actually a way of getting stakeholders together, discussing the project and finding the right pathway to achieve the project outcome collectively. First, I have to say that's a vision of our Director General, Dr. Issa Mohammed, who really was wondering how come that Asia is so advanced in aquaculture production while Africa is not. And if that's the case, what is really the gap, right? Can we just bridge the two continents in such a way that while Africa is struggling and they are really showing interest in developing the aquaculture potential, right? They can just learn the lessons from Asia, which is also a south continent, right? So the lessons could be learned in Asia and adapted to the context of Africa, and vice versa. So there are also some lessons that can come from Africa to Asia. So the idea really is to make sure that in the geographies where we work as WorldFish, we can leverage on the innovations from one place to transfer the innovations to the other. But it should not be a copy and paste. That's why we still need this theory of change to discuss with people and see how we adapt the technologies developed in one place to the other. But in the framework of this project, we also have an exchange, a new knowledge exchange component, which is very important. And the bridge between the two continents will facilitate that exchange of knowledge. Has already happened in that we had a global workshop, Inception workshop in October 2023 in Malaysia. And during the workshop, people coming from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Tanzania, from Bangladesh, they got together and we visited oyster farm in Malaysia, for example, and people were very inspired. So the workshop was not just to sit in the room, but we went to the field. Now we are planning a visit in the coming weeks with people from Kenya, Nigeria, going to Bangladesh to see the progress of aquaculture with a specific focus to IMTA components in Bangladesh. And people from Bangladesh will also travel to other countries to see. And this will not happen only at the end. No, it happens as the project is progressing.